Welcome back to another exciting episode of Sherlock Holmes, the case of the Silver Earring, celebrating 20 Let's Plays on the Luigi Fan 891 channel. Let's get back to business.
Look, what's this?
I don't know, what's this? I talked to you? I didn't think I talked to the bartender yet. Oh, I guess we can't talk to him. Oh well. Let us follow up on our stuff. Bartender, what are you trying to do? I don't know what you're trying to do.
Let me introduce myself. I am Sherlock Holmes.
Oh, Mr. Holmes, the infamous detective. We are heaven blessed by your presence. I am afraid I am still in shock.
Okay.
Tell us what you saw.
I was behind Sir Bromsby when it all happened. I am sorry, but as such I could not see anything of interest. But I am convinced that Miss Lavinia had nothing to do with it.
Whom do I have the pleasure of addressing?
Oh, I forget myself. We haven't been properly introduced. I am Herman Grimble, advisor to the late Sir Melvyn Bromsby and minority shareholder of Bromsby Enterprises.
So you knew Sir Bromsby well, then?
What a sad end for such a great man. We first met in India several years ago. That would have been before the birth of Miss Lavinia. We have been business associates and friends ever since that moment.
What sort of man was Sir Bromsby?
He was a man with strong character that at times seemed excessive. He was unyielding, but he was a good man.
Have you any knowledge about the succession of his business interests?
I believe that Sir Bromsby had drawn up his will with his attorney and friend Horace Fowlett. When it is read, we will know more about the specifics. But I can assure you that nothing therein would threaten Bromsby Enterprises.
And where is this Mr. Fowlett?
He must have been here, because he would have most certainly been invited. Although he is hardly a person of high society. Where could he be, I wonder?
We have found Sir Bromsby's speech. There's something quite puzzling about it.
Ah, you talk about the notes that I left for him. Sir Bromsby always improvised his speeches in public as well as in business. Nevertheless, it was still necessary to remind him about particular points. So I sometimes made notes for him on a sheet of paper. Hold on, he must have made that odd notation himself. It says something about a peasant and a snake. What could it mean?
I don't know. Whoa, there's still a lot.
Did Sir Bromsby have any enemies?
Oh, there are always those who envy a man who is successful in business. But to say that Sir Bromsby had enemies? No, I cannot think of anyone who would desire his death.
According to many witnesses, Sir Bromsby seemed anxious.
Well, he really was a little worried these days, but it was most certainly due to the strains associated with the reception, ensuring a good time for his guests and the happiness of his daughter. They have not seen each other in 6 years. Perhaps he could not see her in the room.
Alright, that's a long list.
Thank you very much.
I am at your disposal.
Beg you, please leave me. I will answer only to the authorities.
I should reveal one of my hints.
Alrighty, which hint do you want to reveal, Holmes?
Miss, this revolver, is it yours?
Oh, dear God.
Why would you require a pistol?
My father gave it to me shortly after I arrived. Dear God, what will the police make of this? I swear I did not kill my father. No.
But why would he press you to carry a pistol?
seemed most anxious for my safety and his own. He told me that he would explain everything to me later, after the reception.
Miss, with your consent, I can investigate this matter.
Mr. Holmes, Mr. Grimble has explained to me who you are and what you do. I would be eternally grateful if you could find out who killed my father.
That's all right.
Alright, goodbye.
I must leave you now. Be strong, miss.
Thank you, Mr. Holmes.
Phooey. Alrighty, so the fact that that did not trigger a, I can't walk safely securely this way. Fine, we'll leave.
Nothing of any interest here.
Stand in the corner, Holmes. You're grounded for life. Ah ha ha. Alright, I finally figured out off camera what the trigger is to finish the segment, and it is really stupid. And you guys are so lucky that this is a family-friendly channel, because what I want to say to this guy right now would totally have to be censored. Alright, so I did not notice that this guy decided to go hide over here, so I didn't know I had to go talk to him.
Were you at that precise spot at the moment of the murder?
Indeed, I was standing just there. I could easily see the door because there were so few people in front of me.
At least he doesn't get the honor of being on camera.
What did you do right after the shot was fired?
I left the room as did almost everyone. I must leave now and make my excuses to Miss Lavinia for my behaviour, don't you think?
Well, that's all.
Thank you for your help.
It was not a problem.
I asked myself, what was Watson doing while I was searching the house? He was supposed to prevent me from leaving by the back entrance.
Here now, watch your step. If you're a reporter, there'd better be a doctor nearby, because when I get done with you, you'll need one.
Look here, my good man, I am a doctor. Dr. Watson, in fact, and believe me...
Dr. Watson? Hold on. Are you the Dr. Watson who writes about all those cases solved by Sherlock Holmes? I've read all your adventures.
Then who are you?
Who are you?
My name is Lamb, Governor. I'm Sir Bromsby's coachman. Tell me, is he really that clever, this Sherlock Holmes?
Yeah, he is. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Look sharp, Lamb. Sherlock Holmes and I require your able assistance.
No doubt.
Stand firm at the private entrance and make sure no one enters or leaves until Holmes or myself returns.
My pleasure, Dr. Watson. You tell Mr. Holmes that if anybody even steps on the lawn, they'll have to deal with Lamb. And I can tell you, there are few bold enough to dare my fists.
This door is blocked.
That gate is the only way in or out of here, Dr. Watson. I've already secured the other door on orders of Miss Lambert to avoid them nosy reporters. If anyone tries to make a break through the garden, they won't get past me.
Well, that's good to know.
I leave you, Lamb.
Right, I'll stand guard.
You do that.
I shall wait here for the constables to arrive.
Very good, very good. Alright, let's explore. Although exploring is really just going to consist of walking around and talking to people.
Hello. Please excuse me. I'm investigating the murder that has just happened.
Oh, yes. Well, that is good. What would you like to know?
Ah, your mouth is way too big for your body.
Where were you at the moment when Sir Bromsby was killed?
I was near the stage, and I saw him falling. Oh, my goodness. It was terrifying. I ran for the door, but despite all my efforts, it was blocked.
But your costume is torn. How did this happen?
When I was trying to open the door, the crowd dragged me away. I then fell to the floor. I fortunately suffered no harm, but when I arose, my beautiful costume was ripped and stained.
Oh dear, oh dear.
Well, I won't disturb you anymore.
Yes, no, fine, thanks.
Yes, I don't talk to you anymore. Oh, and I'm not exactly eager about talking to him either, might I add.
And you, what are you doing here?
I'm waiting for Miss Roundtree, the niece of that banker chap. She is inconsolable, all because her admirer of a mere 3 days' acquaintance had already abandoned her. Nothing unusual about that. There is no worse-tempered female than this girl. Well, maybe other than my wife.
Alright, in case you didn't know, this game is rated T.
You heard the shot?
I just left to relieve myself there at the end of the garden, you see. Seems to me I missed a good race for the doors. Worthy of the Royal Derby.
Oh, and we're good for you.
Well, good.
Cheers.
Excuse me, may I speak with you?
Yeah, your servant, sir.
What's your presence here?
Are you one of the domestics employed by the hall?
No, I am the personal servant to old Satterthwaite. He is there, sitting on that bench. He seems right enough, but he refused a small drink for his health. Surely he cannot be well.
The shot.
Tell me, what have you seen?
I heard the shot, then such a strange noise, and the next thing I know, all those money bags are running in a mad rush with their wives or whatever.
Goodbye.
Thank you for your help.
My
My
favorite
pleasure.
word sometimes. Especially when conversations take a turn for the worst.
Well, my good man, why are you here?
I am the manservant of Lieutenant Harrington. I accompanied him with the old general of the infantry or whatever. I seem to have drunk too much.
You think?
Did you hear the shot?
What shot? Oh, the shot. Great reception, isn't it?
I have to go. Are you all right?
Very good. Bye, madam.
Okay. I don't want to know. Let's keep going. Weird camera.
Miss Lambert, I have been looking for you. What a tragedy.
Simply dreadful. Can't believe what they're saying about Miss Lavinia.
Why did you open the gate so hastily?
I was so upset. I know now it was imprudent. I should have waited until the authorities arrived, but some of those gentlemen were so loudly insistent that I yielded.
Have you informed the police?
The village constable attended the reception. He left on his bicycle, I assume to inform the proper authorities. He told me that an inspector from Scotland Yard was already in the area on official business. I know nothing about the nature of his business, but I was told he should arrive soon.
What sort of man was your employer?
Oh, he was a great man. The people of the hall considered him to be very strict, but I think it was just his way of showing a fatherly attitude. And he dreamed of this day when Miss Lavinia would return.
You have a list of guests.
Oh, of course. I have a complete guest list for the reception. It's inside the dining room. I believe the police will have need of it. Well, nevertheless, I must first caution them to pay little heed to the notations I made regarding certain names.
Why were these notations made?
Their purpose was to note particular seating arrangements for the meal and the recital, according to specific concerns. Those individuals whom I considered to be very important were marked with a circle.
What about the other odd marks?
Louis-Philippe, Monsieur de la Musardière, suggested this method of arranging the seating. He also advised me that those guests with poor eyesight and hearing should be seated so that the acoustics and lighting in their room would favour their enjoyment of the recital. So the first category was marked with a point, the second with a cross.
What do you know about this Frenchman?
He is from a noble family, but found himself forced to seek a vocation as a head waiter. He is so inspired and keenly sensitive to the details. At first, I was afraid that Sir Bromsby would take offence with his suggestions, but he had moderated his opinions regarding French culture due to the influence of his friend Horace Fowlett.
What did he do that was so extraordinary?
His assistance was invaluable. He took such concerns with every little detail. The dishes, the tablecloths, everything. He not only declined an offer of lodging here at the hall, he also deferred his wages until the end of the reception. Oh, I would be so glad if he were here now.
And where has he gone?
He had pressing business in London. In fact, He found it necessary to visit his Harley Street physician. It seems his glasses were no longer helping with his eyesight.
Oh, that's terrible.
You have been very kind, Miss Lambert.
You are most welcome. Oh, what a tragedy.
Oh, what a tragedy. Oh, everyone's gonna be talking about, oh, what a tragedy for this entire episode. Oh, what a tragedy. Oh, why is my mouse broken? Oh, why is it so laggy? I have it set to high performance mode.
Do you work here, miss?
Yes, my name is Sue. I am a maid for the hall.
Where were you when these tragic events took place?
I was serving when it happened. I ran straight for the door, just like the others. I swear his daughter must have done it. She's such a strange one.
Oh, that's
Thank
easy.
you, miss. We may talk with you again.
Oh, I hope so.
That's not how you spell he. But okay. Alright, let's see if you have anything more to
Are
add.
you a relative of the victim?
No. In truth, I always mocked Sir Bromsby. I am upset because my friend did not arrive as promised.
As beautiful as she is cruel, apparently. I have questioned everyone here. I'll go see if Holmes has finished on his end.
Alright, that's nice.
Holmes! The gate!
I know, Watson, but it is of no real consequence. To question all these people would be a tiresome activity, and would be of no value to this inquiry. Such ordinary inquiries are best left to the police. They have their purposes.
As you like, Holmes.
Now, Watson, to put your mind at rest, I can see that you have done well in my absence, by placing the formidable coachman at the gate. I also imagine you have already spoken with Miss Lambert?
Yes, and some other people too.
Hold your report until I return to Baker Street. Meanwhile, be a good man and look to the gate. I must be informed the moment any official arrives. As always, I depend on your able assistance, Watson.
Walk as slowly as you can. Why don't you? Alright, now it's time for us to investigate. And let's see what we got here.
I need something.
Oh, you always need something. Okay, let's
I
check that
need
one.
something.
I know what we need for this measure.
It is a size 7.
And what did we pick up? Let's look. Oh, it's just a cigarette. Alright then. Can I by chance talk to you? Oh, what's all this?
Holmes!
Good day, Lestrade. Your haste deserves comment. One could say that you were right to hurry here, as this case is one of great complexity and challenge. Do not worry. I think that you will manage to get back to your mother before the dinner hour.
In the name of Devil, Holmes, you go too far. Do you spy on me now? How do you know I've been to my mother's?
Dear Lestrade, it is really quite simple. I must admit my mind has been stimulated by the main course, which would be this unique case. However, I sometimes enjoy a light snack of the details which surround it. Observe, we are in the middle of the countryside, and you have some fresh yellow pollen, but only on your right sleeve. This implies a recent gift of flowers. It is a gallant gesture, but surely a meeting with the fairer of our species would take place in London. Considering the promptness of your arrival, it must have been a bouquet of flowers you took to someone who lives in this area. I presume that you have family living nearby, and I would think only your mother would warrant such an attentive gesture. There is a fresh dab of fat at the corner of your mouth, as well as on the bit of handkerchief visible from your pocket. This is consistent with a recent meal of a big piece of steak. Who would make a policeman swallow such a substantial meal at this hour, and when a crime has been just committed? It could only be a mother thinking about the hard task awaiting her child.
Well, Holmes, when you explain it like that, it really seems quite simple. Good show. What about this Bromsby murder?
a unique case, as I've already noted, but any supposition would be premature until we consider Dr. Watson's report, as well as your own findings. Miss Lavinia has asked that the esteemed Dr. Watson and I give this case our full attention, though I doubt she is aware of all the implications of this case. Lestrade, you can find the victim inside, and I recommend calling upon his solicitor, Mr. Horace Fowlett. Mrs. Hudson is cooking a roast tomorrow at noon. Why don't you be our guest, and we can share our discoveries? What do you think? Watson and I must take our leave, as there's much to be done at Baker Street. Are you coming, Watson? Let us return to Baker Street.
Yep, we gotta do it ourselves.
Everything is well noted. Watson, bravo. All of these elements will be a great help to us. As for myself, I have already told you everything that I know, and I can tell you nothing more until I receive answers to the messages I've sent with Wiggins. Now I must return to my experiments to test my theory regarding the substance I found at the scene of the murder. Meanwhile, I suggest you look through the books in the bookcase. Information that you find there might prove very useful in resolving this case.
I have to check 3 books on the shelves. Let's see.
How do you know we need to check 3? There's like a lot. Oh, you're not gonna be close. There we go. Now, so they went in here. So where are the books? My book. Where are my books? Oh, here we go. These are books. Got footprints. And voila, we read it.
Here is information which could be really helpful in our investigation. These Chirapaki cigarettes come from Brazil, and they seem to contain narcotic substances. What might they be?
Who knows? Oh, look,
I need to analyze the evidence found at Sherringford Hall. A piece of white cloth, a small box, various powders, and finally the hair. Let's get to work.
Yes, let's. And that actually seems like a good stopping point. So we're gonna go ahead and call it here. So hang on, where's my lab? There's my lab. I say that as if this is my house.
I need to analyze the evidence found at Sherringford Hall. A piece of white cloth, a small box, various powders, and finally the hair. Let's get to work.
Yeah, we'll get to work next time. See you guys then.